The history of Turkey. From this title, we can understand as the period between the formation of the Republic in the 29th of October 1923 and the present days, or the period of Ottoman and Turkic beyliks. But we are going to refer to the entire period of known history of this land. Practically, the history of the region now forming the territory of not only the Republic of Turkey, but also Anatolia. The earliest representations of culture in Anatolia were some Stone Age artifacts. Due to its strategic location at the intersection of Asia and Europe, Anatolia has been an important place of several civilizations since prehistoric times. At the start of the Bronze Age, metallurgy spread to Anatolia from Transcaucasian cultures in the late 4th millennium BCE. And it slowly entered in the sphere of influence of the Akkadian Empire. Many civilizations existed here. Speaking about one, the Hittite civilization was a member of an ancient Indo-European people who appeared in Anatolia at the beginning of the 2nd millennium BCE. By 1340 BCE, they had become one of the dominant powers in the Middle East. The remnants of Bronze Age civilizations such as the Haitian, Akkadian, Assyrian, and Hittite peoples provide us with many examples of the daily lives of its citizens and their trade. After the fall of the Hittites, the new state of Phrygia and Lydia stood strong on the western coast as Greek civilization began to flourish. They and all the rest of Anatolia were relatively soon incorporated into the Persian Empire. More from the east, a new power emerged. Persia grew in power more and more and influenced the lands of the west, expanding in Anatolia. Their system of local government in Anatolia allowed many cities and ports to grow and to become wealthy because of the influx of trade and road networks between the east and west. The region of Anatolia got divided into various regions, satrapies, ruled by satraps, governors, appointed by the central Persian rulers. In the earliest 5th century BC, some of the Ionian cities under Persian rule revolted, which culminated into the Ionian Revolt. This revolt, after being easily suppressed by the Persians, led to the popular Greco-Persian Wars, one of the most known and crucial wars from the ancient history. This Greco-Persian War led to more conflicts in the Greek peninsula. Fights for power and influence happened, and a revenge sentiment mixed with good leaderships led to the growth of Macedonian kingdom under Philip II and his son, Alexander the Great, who gained control of the whole region and conquered Persia in successive battles. From this point, Anatolia was more and more influenced by the Hellenic world. After Alexander's death, his conquests were split amongst several of his trusted generals. The Seleucid Empire, the largest of Alexander's territories, and which included Anatolia, became involved in wars with Rome more years later. The rise of Rome was felt across the Mediterranean basin. The control of Anatolia was strengthened by Rome, allowing local control to govern effectively and provide military protection, expanding deep into Anatolian territory. The territory here developed in Roman times. Due to the rise of instability in the empire and the permanent raids from foreign invaders in the 4th century AD, the Emperor Constantine the Great established a new administrative center at the city of Byzantium, called Constantinople after his name. And by the end of the 4th century, the Roman Empire split into two parts, the western part with Rome as its capital, and the eastern part with Constantinople as its capital, an empire referred to by historians as the Byzantine Empire. The process of Hellenization that began with Alexander's conquest accelerated under Roman rule, and the ancient Greek language and culture was predominant in the region. Turkic peoples and related groups migrated west from Turkestan and what is now Mongolia towards Eastern Europe, Iranian Plateau, and Anatolia. The Seljuk Turkmens created a medieval empire that controlled a vast area, stretching from the Hindu Kush to eastern Anatolia, and from Central Asia to the Persian Gulf. Many wars, the emerging of new empires, migrations, raids, and the incompetence of some leaders created the slow process of the Byzantine decline throughout time. Their decline and the growing power of the Seljuks led to conflicts and to the famous Battle of Manzikert on 26th of August, 1071, which is believed to be the open gate for the Turkic people, which will come in Anatolia in the next decades and centuries. This important battle was fought between the Byzantine Empire and the Seljuk Empire near Manzikert. The defeat of the Byzantine Empire and the capture of their emperor Romanos Diogenes IV is an important chapter in the history of Anatolia and in the history of what will be known as the Ottoman Empire and the Republic of Turkey. The Sultanate of Rum seceded from the Great Seljuk Empire, and they ruled central Anatolia. As the Seljuk Sultanate of Rum started to crumble, many other smaller regions emerged, ruled by different leaders. These small kingdoms were called beyliks. One of them was ruled by Osman, which will be known as Osman I, the founder of the Ottoman Empire. It's believed that Osman's early followers consisted both of Turkish tribal groups and Byzantine renegades, but not all were Muslims. It is not known for sure how this beylik started to dominate the region, but one thing was sure: the Byzantine Empire was very vulnerable. The new empire expanded into Europe, defeating local leaders and taking profit from the instability of the region. By the year 1400, the Ottomans were a true power, having control of much of the Balkans and western Anatolia. The collapse of Constantinople in the year of 1453 and the end of the last vestiges of the Roman Empire consolidated their power and their notoriety for the next centuries, in which the empire will expand even further, reaching its peak in the 16th and 17th centuries. Inflations, lost battles, the defeats against the Russians and the Habsburgs, and some crisis and rebellions marked the decline of the Ottomans. The start of the 19th century was marked by national movements. Many people from different ethnicities lived in different empires or administrative forms, and rebellions started to happen. The Serbian Revolution, 1804 to 1815, marked the beginning of an era of national awakening. Also, even some Arabs, led by the Al-Saud family, revolted against the Ottomans. In 1821, the Greeks declared war on the Sultan, achieving independence. In 1830, the French invaded Algeria, which was lost to the empire. In 1831, Muhammad Ali revolted and created a civil war with the aim of making himself Sultan. As we can see, the Ottoman experienced huge instability, marked by defeats, bad administration, revolts, and national movements across the empire, due to its overextensions on lands with different peoples and cultures. The empire continued in the next years of the 19th century to lose wars and territories, and to fail in the creating of new reforms. The collapse of the empire is a more detailed subject, but if you want to know more about that, we already made a more detailed video about their collapse. At the start of the First World War, the Ottoman Empire was at its final days, joining the Central Powers in the conflict after their defeat. The empire crumbled, and many of their territories were conceded in favor of Greece, Italy, Britain, and France. This loss created the start of the Turkish national movement, which will be known as the Turkish War of Independence, led by Mustafa Kemal. By September 18, 1922, the occupying armies were expelled. On November 1st, the newly founded parliament formally abolished the Sultanate, thus ending 623 years of Ottoman rule. The Treaty of Lausanne of July 24, 1923, led to the international recognition of the sovereignty of the newly formed Republic of Turkey as the successor state of the Ottoman Empire, and the Republic was officially proclaimed on October 29, 1923, in the new capital of Ankara. Mustafa Kemal became the Republic's first president of Turkey, and subsequently introduced many radical reforms. More rights for women were established, a new writing system in the Latin alphabet for the Turkish language was created, and many others. Turkey was neutral in World War II, and they refused German requests to allow troops access to its borders into Syria or the USSR. Due to the growing tensions of the Cold War, the US guaranteed the security of Turkey and Greece. Turkey joined NATO in 1952, an important member, especially due to its geographic position at the border with USSR. On the island of Cyprus, instability and conflict started to exist, and a military coup of July 1974, overthrowing President Makarios and installing Nico Samson as a dictator. Turkey invaded the Cyprus in 1974. Later, the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus was established, but just Turkey recognizes it. The single-party period was followed by multi-party democracy after 1945. The Turkish democracy was interrupted by internal problems and by military coups in 1960, 1971, and 1980. Since the liberalization of the Turkish economy during the 1980s, the country has enjoyed stronger economic growth and greater political stability. Also, a boom in population happened in this country, growing from 17 million people in the 1930s to over 80 million today. We know that there's more to discuss about this topic, and we will cover more details in future episodes about the history of the Turkish people in Anatolia. So be sure to subscribe to our channel to receive more interesting animated episodes about our history. Also, we cannot end this video without thanking our few but very generous supporters on Patreon. Your support is much appreciated and it helps our work a lot. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.